What's up, goobers? I'm CL, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we begin, please hit the Bertrand bell to be notified of future videos, and subscribe to stay up to date with our favorite chaotic group of characters. I make brand new Critical Role recaps every Saturday, and would be happy to have you join the family. Now, without further ado, let's discuss the 9th episode of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. The episode opens where we left off before break, with Fern's animal form breaking as she attempted to spy upon the 3 guard. Having been caught red-handed, she attempts and fails to lie to Celadon, the head of security, about, well, you name it, dire wolves, an alleged relationship with Gurge, but she ultimately manages to land a clutch charm person spell on the leader, and he lets her and her friends go on their merry way. Gurge is apparently a rather beastly man, potentially a sufferer of lycanthropy, and he's been taken by a bounty hunter called Artana Vo. Artana has apparently paid off the guard in order to capture Gurge without much trouble, and our heroes return to Daddy Ashtaros to try and gain more information on this black market boogeyman. After an amusing introduction between Chetney and Ashtaros, the orc lets Orem know that he was able to set up a meeting with the Anger. With the revelation that Duggar had been indeed working with Broomstone, the group pry and learn that Artana Vo has a sister in town named Preo Madali, a co-owner of the Soot and Swill, a local tavern that smells vaguely like it had been a site of a bonfire crime in its history. Once arriving at the Soot and Swill, FCG manages to incite the hell out of Preo Madali and learns that Artana is potentially somewhere behind the kitchen doors. Requesting to compliment the chef in an effort to distract from the boys sneaking into the kitchen, Fern meets Pretty, the bestest boy, who tearfully shares his recipe for weird sludge while the boys try and fail repeatedly to defeat their grand enemy, a door. Once Chetney expertly picks the lock, they come face to face with Artana Vo herself, who attacks them as they try and gather information. After an exchanging of coin, they gather that Gurge had been delivered to the Moon Tower in the Core Spire, the request made by the business commissioner Valley Deforma. Pleased with this, the boys return unnoticed as Imogen promises to return for Pretty in the form of a date later that night. Heading to the Moon Tower, the friends are turned away and return to Daddy Ashtaros once again for a letter gaining them entry. Once inside, they meet a hot academic dark elf with an Irish accent and request to see Valley. Fern is shocked by some books while they wait, and when the boy returns, Chetney sneaks off to gain entry into the office despite claims that Valley was indisposed. Using a myriad of tricks, Chetney manages to sneak into the office and case the room. He finds and steals a map of the Odiran wilds and their trade routes. He takes a shit ton of coin that would maybe make even Daddy Ashtaros question whether he's providing enough for you. He takes a leather-bound notebook that entails that Gurge may have been requested to be taken by the Nightmare King, whoever that is. And he fights hard to suppress an erection at a bookshelf made from very expensive wood that behind it you can hear the voices of potentially nefarious individuals. Now, the next part's a little confusing, and we don't have a lot of context for it. But once Chetney manages to find the secret lock and makes his way down the secret passage, he overhears potentially Valley and a man named Ira having a discussion. Something is going on, having set up patterns, and apparently they've been kidnapping people, and one of them requests a child for some reason. Though he was sickened by the request, and I'm assuming that to be Valley, he returns to his office to notice things missing and begins slicing through the air with a magical sword in an attempt to find the perpetrator. Making a daring escape, Chetney dashes from the corner he was hiding in, crashes through one of the windows, and runs off into the storm below. What the heck do we think is going on, you guys? Is there something festering inside the Core Spire, like the creatures that hung around Duggar? What are these missing people being used for? Sacrifices? Experiments? Is it some kind of exchange with the Nightmare King? Who is the Nightmare King? And will this finally all connect to the Broomstone? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the amusing age conversation between Fern and Chetney? I personally wish I could stop counting after 25. I think after you can rent a car, what else is there to keep track of? Chetney leapt out of a window and didn't need to make any kind of athletic or acrobatics check. Could this finally be Travis's attempt at some sort of were character? He has a strength of 17, which is sort of odd for someone who's dex-based. As well as the fact that Gurge is beastly himself, could the woodworking angle be just a cover-up for what Chetney really is looking for with Gurge? Could that real reason be that he left Uthadurn after all of these years because he's some sort of were character himself? What do you guys think? It could be really cool to see Chetney as some kind of were snow leopard or something, as it seems the cold and snow are integral to his character design. Please remember to comment what you think, and subscribe. Also, check out my other projects. I'm a member of a pilot podcast, where in this week's episode we broke down the pilot episodes of Life with Derek on the Disney Channel and The Brady Bunch. I also have Marvelous Tunes, a Taylor Swift podcast with my friend Kayla. There's also something I'm really excited to be working on with my friend Logan that we can't talk about yet, but as soon as I'm allowed to let you guys know, and I know it's annoying when the YouTuber does the secret project thing, I'll keep you updated. Finally, I have an album out now called Scorpio. Please go give it a listen on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever brings you joy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay warm. Bidet, my friends.